To have the biggest impact on state corruption, what is needed is a concession-based balancing mechanism to authority. This is the requirement that for all those who hold any type of government authority over others, be it legislative, executive, or judicial, there needs to be a relinquishing of some of their personal rights as an offset for this additional power which the state grants them. This relinquishing of personal rights to gain state authority is balanced so that the more power and authority a civil servant or politician attains, the more personal rights they must relinquish as an exchange. The majority of these relinquished rights center around the right to financial privacy and lifelong restrictions on future employment, income sources, and personal property, but can also extend onto the requirement to divulge all movements and interactions made, and this for possibly the rest of their lives, depending on the power of the office. These relinquished rights are not arbitrary, but are specifically tailored to ensure that no personal gain can be attained from the specific authority granted by the state to these individuals. This extends to negating potential abuses or deliberate neglect undertaken by civil servants and mostly concerns the right to privacy at the workplace to ensure that the power granted over others is not abused. This transparency extends to all private sector companies that have contracts with the state. All state finances, including employee salaries, all contracts, bills paid, and all other financial transactions must be made fully available for scrutiny. For bidding practices, a common rule of automatically removing the highest and lowest bidder could be used to avoid deliberate undercutting. Having final bills available for scrutiny will also help to weed out bad companies and individuals that deliberately underbid and then feed off extra charges. No one forces private companies to bid on state contracts after all, so they cannot complain about their financial dealings with the state becoming public property. This could also extend to all those receiving financial support from the state. And who watches the watchman? The only reliable group, society. All information must be made available to the public promptly on an open platform. Only the public can be trusted to guard their own interests. Only have to ensure that those seeking office and state employment must first agree to give appropriate concessions regarding their personal rights, will we remove those seeking power for their own gain, thus leaving room for those who truly want to further and serve humanity. In other words, true public servants, with the interests of society at the heart of their decisions. This is true equality. The normal citizen has just as many rights, powers as a policeman all the way up to the head of state. Mechanisms must also be in place for the public to be able to remove the worst offenders from their public post, regardless of the post, from the janitor all the way to the head of state. This would make the changes effective, regardless of the type of government in power. What those with state authority gain in power, they lose in personal rights. This is the next evolution in government, formalizing the role of officials into what they always claim to be, the servants of the people. I would gladly answer any questions you might have to this topic. Take care, and all the best.